Hey there nation, and welcome to the show where we help you to play miniatures wargaming on a budget. It is I, Commander Cheapskate, and we are back with another episode of From Hell. This is our series of battle reports that is dedicated to Reign in Hell, a brand new demonic combat skirmish game that is made by Snarling Studios. And of course, in case you were tuning in for the very first time, Snarling Studios is a game company that is established by Adam Loper as well as Vince Venturella, both of them of Tabletop Minions as well as Warhammer Weekly fame right here on YouTube. So in case you were tuning in for the very first time, my gaming group and I decided to actually play a campaign of Reign in Hell. The Reign in Hell gaming system is fantastic. You could actually do it as a one-off game between different skirmishing warbands, or you can play in a campaign, which is actually what the whole game is designed to do. So we've been through two different rounds of our campaign, and we are now currently starting round number 3 of our Reign in Hell campaign. And this is our current ranking for each of our different cabals. Now we have 6 cabals in total, so we're ranking them first to 6th place. And if you're wondering how we do our ranking system, it's based off of the cabal's win-loss records. And in case of a tie between the two cabals, we then look at the souls that they currently possess as the tiebreaker between both warbands. So this is how our current situation is. So in first place, we have the Gardens of Maladies, which is a demented philosophy cabal that's played by my friend Dark Lord Mac. He's got 2 wins as well as 0 losses, and he has 28 souls in his possession. In second place, we have the Stygian Legion of the Lords of Hell. That cabal is played by my friend Big Puka. He's got 2 wins and 0 losses as well as 27 souls in his possession. In third place, we have the Ethereal Bank of Vikos, which is a broker's cabal that is played by yours truly. This is my warband, Commander Cheapskates, and I got 1 win, 1 loss, as well as 30 souls. In fourth place is the Shrieking Masquerade of the Earthbound philosophy that's played by my sister Shade. She has 1 win and 1 loss, as well as 8 souls in her possession. In fifth place is All Is Dust of the Empty. Let's play for my friend O'Death. He's got 0 wins as well as 2 losses, and he has 6 souls in his possession. And finally, in 6th place is the Verdant Tribunal of the Judge's Philosophy. That's played by my friend Smells Like Febreze. She has 0 wins and 2 losses, and she has 4 souls in her possession. So this is the current ranking of each of our cabals at the beginning of turn number 3 of our campaign. And so with that being said, we're going to our very first battle report for round number 3, which is a 4-way battle that is fought over this prison scenario. Alright, so that takes us directly to battle report number 7. This is a prison scenario that is fought between my friends Shade, Smells Like Febreze, O'Death, as well as Big Puka. So this is our very first 4-way battle report on the Reign in Hell campaign that we're doing as well. So we have a pretty good understanding of the rules now. We pretty much have now understand the game mechanics works. Now it's time for us to go over the next level of difficulty in these scenarios, which is start doing things like multiple player campaign scenarios, as well as terrain rules as well. So on this one, my sister Shade is fighting my friend O'Death, who's also fighting Smells Like Febreze, who's also fighting Big Puka. Shade is bringing the Shrieking Masquerade, her Earthbound cabal. O'Death is bringing All Is Dust, the Empty cabal. Smells Like Febreze is bringing the Verdant Tribunal of the Judges, and Big Puka is bringing the Stygian Legion of the Lords of Hell. So all 4 of these guys will be fighting in a prison in order to break out a demon that might hold secret knowledge or pain or nothing at all. And my friends will be fighting that one in this scenario. So we're going to play some background music real quick. As the music is playing, we will show you photos of all 4 warbands as well as their rosters. If you want to see exactly what they're bringing for this one, go ahead and pause and take a look at your own leisure. So that being said, let's get this battle report on a roll. So the scenario rules for this one is the prison. Victory condition. The game lasts 5 turns, and the winner is the cabal that controls at least 3 of the 4 objectives at the end of any round after the first, or the game is a draw unless this side happens to retreat off the battlefield. Now the rewards on this one, what ends up happening is if you're victorious, you're fighting to free a demon which is located in a tower in the middle of the table. Once you free that demon, you roll a d6. On a score of 1 to 2, nothing ends up happening. On a score of 3 to 4, you find out that the demon that you're rescuing is actually a warrior demon, and he actually slays a random member of your cabal. And at the same time, you get to kill that guy. In exchange, you get some rolls on the essence table. And on a 5 to 6, the leader of your warband actually learns the secret knowledge he's looking for and earns 2 experience points as well. Now, for the titles for this one as well, you also get a title called Liberator of the Forbidden. And in this case, if you manage to control all 4 objectives at the end of the round, your leader earns this title, and this demon may not have their movement reduced for any reason in any battle report in the future due to terrain. So with the scenario rules over, let's go on and talk about deployment real quick, as well as battle plans. So here's an overhead shot of the entirety of the battlefield. As you can see, my friends are playing on a Warcry table, and all 4 of my friends have their armies located in the corners. Now, just before we even start this battle report, I got to give a big shout out to all 4 of my friends. Shade, Big Puka, Smells Like Febreze, as well as Odeth. And the reason why is because doing a multiplayer scenario in my channel is very difficult for them. And the reason why is because I like to make my battle reports look kind of professional. So every single time we take a photo of something, what my friends have to do is they have to stop, clear off everything off the table real quick, leave the room so I can take a photo of it, and then come back in and do the whole process again. Now, if I'm zooming in, of course, I don't have to worry about that because I just zoom in wherever I need to. But in this case, though, with a 4-player battle and I'm doing these overhead shots, I gotta hand it to my friends because they're doing me a huge solid by letting me photograph their content, their battle to make content on my channel. So thank you guys once again. I know it was really difficult, especially it was kind of hot because my office is kind of crowded, especially when you put 4 people in it. But as you can see here, as you can see in this one, all 4 of my friends are located. My sister Shade's in the bottom left-hand corner. Smells Like Febreze, upper left-hand corner. Upper right-hand corner is my friend Odeth, and in the bottom right-hand corner is Big Puka. And pretty much what their plans are to grab those 4 objective markers in the center of the table around the tower. And in the tower there we have Gonfil the Carrion Crows. He is the demon that they're trying to rescue on this one. So I talked to my friends about what the battle plans on this one is. For the most part, what my friends' battle plans are, Smells Like Febreze, she's going to try to control the left-hand side of the terrain and then just fight defensively with those towers. At the same time, my sister Shade, her plan is to actually take the bottom left-hand corner, the top left-hand corner, as well as the bottom right-hand corner objective markers and try to hold on to those and to fight off demons respectively. Now my friend Big Puka, his plan is to basically just attack pretty much the mirror image of what Shade's doing. He's going up to the top right-hand corner, bottom right-hand corner, and bottom left-hand corner to control those objectives and do that. And he's got the numbers and the fighting ability to do so because he's the Lords of Hell Warband, and it pretty much works out for him. Now, for my friend Odeth, though, his plan is kind of interesting. He plans on playing defensively to control just the top right-hand corner alone, and his plan is actually just to wait until my friends basically just kind of fight amongst each other and weed them out, and he's going to play defensively until one warband becomes weaker, and he's going to plan on attacking and finishing them off. And the way that his warband is kitted out, he could possibly do it because his leader and both his his devout demon, the void demon, they can actually teleport around the battlefield as easily as they want to. So it could be pretty deadly for these guys because what they can do is that his plan is to wait till the warbands get weakened, then send his 2 leader as well as his devout demon to finish off whoever's left over to secure their objectives and win that way. So it's actually a pretty solid plan. So with the battle plan, let's go and talk about deployment real quick. So in the center of the table, we have Gonfil of Carrion Crows. He is the prisoner that everyone will be fighting over to try to release. And of course, my friends will even roll up a d6 to see exactly what he does for their cabal once they manage to free him. And with that, we go directly to the deployment for the Shrieking Masquerade. So over here in the bottom left-hand corner, on the top and the left, that is Asmodeus. He is the leader demon. He is also a schemer. He's got Mass Manipulator, Skirmish Spirit, as well as Axe of Back Blood. He's also got the Quick Escape rule, as well as the Essence of the Wanderer. Right next to him on the right-hand side, that is Enkari, the devout demon. She's a succubus. She's got the Fly, 2 Charming, as well as Inequity, as well as Gem of Healing, as well as Cursed Touch abilities as well. Now right behind them on the bottom left-hand side, we have 3 Slaughter Fiends. Those are Cassiel, Caspiel, and Kame. Cassiel and Caspiel both have Bloodstained Gauntlets, while Kame only has the Paragons of Slaughter special rule. Right next to the right-hand side, we have Belel and Belar, which are 2 Mefets, and finally on the bottom right-hand side, we have Rahab, who is a Tentacle Beast. So moving up to the player number 2 in the upper right-hand corner, this is my friend Odeth's Warband, All Is Dust, which is an empty cabal. In the back right-hand corner, we have Skrakalikos. He's a lesser demon. He's got the One with Nothing ability, as well as a Zealot specialty. He's also got the Frenzy special rule, Eternal Mind ability, as well as Token of Luck. Now right next to him on the right-hand side, that is Devout Demon, which is a Void Demon named Innistrad. He's got One with Nothing, as well as Oblivion special mechanic. And he's also got the Reliquary, which means he gets +1 movement and or combat until the end of his activation. On the left-hand side, that is Echoed Hellbrass. He is a Slaughter Fiend who's got the Essence of Luck. And of course, those 3 little pink monsters, those are Fail, Spiderflux, and Bastat. And those 3 guys are all lesser demons. And up in the front, the blue one, that is Screamer, which is a Mephet. And that makes the deployment for All Is Dust. In the upper left-hand corner, in the player 3 position, this is the Verdant Tribunal, which is a judge's cabal that's very played from our friend Smells Like Febreze. And right out the front, the big guy in the center, that is Durthu. He is a devout demon who's an executioner. He's got the off of their head special rule, as well as the Justice game mechanic, as well as the Essence of Luck. Now right behind him we have 3 tentacle beasts. Those are Willow, Ash, and Birch. Right behind him, those 3, in the very back left-hand corner, that's Dryka, the lesser demon, the leader demon. She's got Breaking the Rules game mechanic. She's also a warrior class leader. She's got Combat Master, as well as Steadfast Soul, as well as the Hammer of Thunder. And she's like one of the deadliest close combat leaders we have in our campaign. And then over on the right hand side in the back, that is a Mephet demon named Spite the Stormbreaker. And then right next to him on the right hand side, that is Treekin, a Slaughter Fiend. And that pretty much makes a deployment for the Verdant Tribunal. And finally, in the bottom right hand corner, in the 4th player 4 position, is the Stygian Legion of the Lords of Hell. This is played by my friend Big Puka. So on the back on the right hand side, that is Abaddon, his leader demon, who is a warrior class demon leader. He's got Combat Master, as well as Unyielding Essence and Soul Drinker, as well as the Imperious Nature. Right in front of him on the right hand side, those are 3 Slaughter Fiends named Sanguine, Skinner, as well as Crimson Chaos. And right beneath him on the bottom there, that is Skull Taker, who is a devout demon lord of the pit. He's got Fly, a worthy sacrifice, righteousness, as well as Essence of the Skirmisher, which gives him +3 movement when he does running skirmishes. Now right next to him, of course, is Abdiel, the armored demon. Right next to him is another Mephet. That guy's name is Kobal. And then right next to him, of course, is a spine demon named Shabriri as well. And then finally in the top there, we have Skull Smasher, which is a tentacle beast. And that pretty much makes a deployment for the Stygian Legion. So with deployment over with for all 4 warbands, my friends roll their activation dice to figure out which of them will be going first. Alright, so that takes us directly to the top of turn number 1, and these are the activation dice for the Earthbound, the Empty, the Judges, as well as Lords of Hell, which is a bunch of numbers, which I'm not going to read off. If you're really curious, you can take a pause and take a look. So the very first activation, of course, is All of Dust. As you can see, one of the tentacle beasts secures the first objective in the top left-hand corner, while the other Mephet moves up to the top of the ruins to start setting the bottom right-hand objective marker. Meanwhile, my friend Smells Like Febreze and activates Durthu, Executioner, who basically moves up his maximum allowance, heading directly towards Asmodeus of the Earthbound. As for my friend Big Puka, his very first activation sends his Mephet to secure the bottom right-hand objective marker right next to the tower. Shade's very first activation is to activate one of her Mephets, who moves over to occupy the bottom left-hand corner objective marker. Meanwhile, my friend Odette then sends his second tentacle beast to move up forward in order to land some more security for the upper right-hand corner objective. And my friend Smells Like Febreze then activates her Mephet. She basically, despite the Stormbringer, she moves up to the upper left-hand corner of the objective marker. And just like that, now all 4 markers are being controlled on the battlefield. And basically each Cabal controls 1. And blood is spilt on this day. My sister Shade then activates Asmodeus, who does a running skirmish right against Durthu, the Executioner. Basically runs up forward, slices him, runs back, manages to put only 1 wound on that guy. So pretty lackluster, all things considered. So for Smells Like Febreze next activation, she then activates Treekin, her Slaughter Fiend, who moves up his maximum allowance in order to lend some support to Spite the Stormbreaker to control the upper left-hand corner objective. Meanwhile, Odette continues on with his advance forward and sends his 3rd tentacle beast to secure that objective marker on his side of the terrain. And as you see in the back there, Cold Hellbrass is also slowly moving forward as well. Meanwhile, Big Puka activates Skull Taker as well as Abaddon, his leader, as well as his devout demon, the Lord of the Pit. And both those guys move up their maximum allowance, falling along the bottom of the table edge, making their way to the left-hand side of the battlefield. And then Shade sends in Nakari, her succubus, who basically flies to the top of the ruins. That way she's within range of Durthu. Her plan basically is for her next turn is to use her 2 Charming ability to basically possess Durthu, make him attack his own people. And over here, as you can see, Odette does move up Cold Hellbrass, moving up his maximum allowance to once again reinforce the defensive position on the upper right-hand objective. And Smells Like Febreze does exactly the same thing, sending one of her tentacle beasts in order to secure that objective marker as well. So for next activation, Shade then activates one of her Mephets, who does a charging attack directly into Durthu, and as you can see in this photo, that Mephet does nothing whatsoever. And the reason why that was the case is because I believe Shade was trying to make Durthu stay and not be able to break away, thinking that if she charged him in forward into combat, Durthu wouldn't be able to escape. We all informed Shade that actually was a bad plan because in this game you can leave combat without penalty for the most part, so she was unaware of that, so she kind of felt kind of foolish afterwards. But hey, we're still learning how to play this game. So for Elodeth's next activation, he activates Innistrad, his Void Beast, who moves up directly next to Screamer the Mephet, as well as one of his Tentacle Beasts, getting ready to defend his objective marker from the Lords of Hell. And once again, my friend Smells Like Febreze sends up one of her Tentacle Beasts to back up Durthu, so that way anybody who tries to go into close combat with the Executioner suffers -1 to their combat ability. Shade then sends her Tentacle Beast Rahab up forward as quickly as he can in order to lend some support to the Mephet, protecting the bottom left-hand corner objective marker. And then Odeth then activates Skrakalikos, who moves up his leader demon as quick as he can in order to catch up the rest of his Cabal. Meanwhile, Smells Like Febreze then sends up her second Tentacle Beast to bump up right next to Darthu, so that way he has a little bit more combat support against anybody who ends up charging against him. And not to toot my own horn, but I just really like the way I painted Darthu. So yeah, I painted this guy back when I actually started playing Sylvaneth for Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and I followed Duncan Rhodes' painting tutorial advice when I painted this guy using my Cheapskate paints in order to do exactly the same thing. It came out awesome. I just love that flaming sword I did. I'm sorry I'm tooting my own horn, but it looks really good. And for my friend Big Puka, he does a slightly out of focus shot. Sorry about the camera murky, guys. He then activated Skull Smasher, his Tentacle Beast, who climbs to the top of the ruins. Smells Like Febreze then activates Drika, her leader, who then moves up right behind Darthu in order to provide some more combat support. And Drika is the deadliest close combat leader we actually have in this campaign. So for last of activation, Shade then activates her 3 Slaughter Fiends. All 3 Slaughter Fiends move to the right-hand side of the battlefield, getting ready to intercept both Skulltaker as well as Abaddon from the Lords of Hell, who are making their way along the bottom of the battlefield. And for the rest of Big Puka's activation, he sends up Shabriri, his Spine Demon, as well as 3 Slaughter Fiends, who move up directly to the top of the table in order to cause some problems there as well. So with that takes directly to the top of end of turn number 1. This is an overhead shot of the entirety of the battlefield. As you can see pretty much for the most part, all 4 of my friends are sending their forces directly to secure objective markers and going to reinforce it. Right now, the Lords of Hell, they have the most numbers as well as the most hard-hitting combat choices. As you can see, the Armored Demon as well as the Mephet are occupying their objective marker. Meanwhile, the Slaughter Fiends as well as the Spine Demon as well as the Tentacle Beast make their way up to the right-hand side, sweeping right directly into all his dust, while the Lord of the Pit as well as his leader demon for the Lords of Hell move to the left-hand side. Meanwhile, Shade is pretty much kind of taking up defensive positions on her side of the table, securing her objective marker as well as looking like she's planning on doing a 2 charming possession of Darthu against Smells Like Febreze forces. Meanwhile, she's sending her Slaughter Fiends to the right-hand side in order to take on those 2 demons coming on the bottom of the screen. Meanwhile, Smells Like Febreze is sending her forces directly into Shade, getting ready to kill her and catch her in close combat. At the same time, splitting a couple of her forces to defend her objective marker as well. And then finally, as you can see, there Odeth as well as All Dust. They're pretty much just sending a perimeter around their objective marker and protecting it for the most part. So with the end of turn number 1, we go directly to the top of turn number 2, and my friends roll their activation dice to see which of them will be going first. So we go directly to the top of turn number 2, and these are the activation dice that all 4 of my friends rolled off. If you want to see exactly what they did, you can pause and take a look at the numbers if it's really interesting to you. So for my friend Odeth, the very first activation, he activates Innistrad, his Void Demon, does a charging attack directly into Shabriri, the Spine Demon from the Lords of Hell. Managed to put 6 wounds on him right off the bat, so pretty brutal. That Void Demon is actually quite frightening in this game. So not to be outdone, Big Puka then activates his 2 Slaughter Fiends with his activations and charge directly into Innistrad. And unfortunately for him though, he flubbed his rolls, was not able to cause a single wound against the Void Demon, so that part was absolutely insane. Meanwhile, Shade goes next. She then activates her Inkari, which is her Succubus, who uses her 2 Charming ability, which she then uses the closest demon than 3 inches, and she decides to possess Darthu, the Executioner. Darthu does a 180 and decides to put out an all-out charging attack directly into Drika, and unfortunately for Shade, though, Darthu's dice rolls were just not that great. Only managed to put 1 wound directly onto Drika, which is absolutely insane. So, not to be outdone, my friend Smells Like Febreze then activates one of her Tentacle Beasts, who does a charging attack directly into Inkari the Succubus. Managed to put 5 wounds directly onto her. So Shade then activates Asmodeus. Her leader does another running skirmish attack directly into that Tentacle Beast. I think she managed to put 7 wounds directly onto that Tentacle Beast as well, just kind of dashing forward, slicing her, and then falling right back again to stay out of range of Darthu the Executioner. So in response, Smells Like Febreze then sends in her Tentacle Beast, charging directly into the Mephet, managed to put 6 wounds directly onto that one. So Lords of Hell are actually taking a beating a little bit with their demons. And to make matters worse, Smells Like Febreze then activates Spite the Stormbringer, does a running skirmish attack, going directly into that Mephet from the Earthbound, putting 2 wounds, then bouncing right back to her area, securing her objective marker once again. And then the unimaginable happens. Darthu does a charging attack directly into Inkari, the Succubus, and manages to finish her off with just 1 fell swoop. So that part was kind of sad. And just like that, my sister Shade has lost her Devout Demon. Oh, Death then goes with this next activation, activates Skrokali. His leader demon does a charge attack directly into one of the Slaughter Fiends from the Lords of Hell. Managed to kill that guy just in the first round of combat, so that part was intense. And this photo is actually taken after several activations. What ends up happening is that he also then activates one of his tentacle beasts. He does a charging attack directly into Treekin, which is the Slaughter Fiend from the Judges. Manages to put 5 wounds on that guy. And then Smells Like Febreze then activates her Slaughter Fiend Treekin and manages to put 3 wounds directly onto the tentacle beast that attacked him. Smells Like Febreze then activates one of her tentacle beasts. He does a charging attack directly into Shade's Mephet that was occupying the bottom left-hand corner and managed to kill that Mephet with a charging attack as well, and at the same time claiming her second objective marker for her warband. She only needs one more objective marker and she could actually take over and win the scenario. So not to be outdone, my friend Big Puka activates Skull Taker's Lord of the Pit, who does a running attack directly into the tentacle beast that just managed to secure that second objective marker, and the first round of combat was absolutely able to kill her in one fell swoop, which is insane. And then for his next activation, he activates his Mephet, who then Cobalt, who then flies over and secures that objective marker for the Lords of Hell. So now the Lords of Hell have 2 objective markers in their possession. Shade then does a charging attack with one of her Slaughter Fiends as well as her Tentacle Beast into Lord of Hell, managed to put 8 wounds on that guy, so that part was pretty intense. So for my friend Odeth, he then activates the Screamer, and the Screamer moves directly onto that ejector marker. What ended up happening is that when Cobalt left that ejector marker to help secure the one in the bottom left-hand corner of the tower, it left this ejector marker open. I think the reason why is because my friend Big Puka was planning on sending Abdiel, his armor demon right there on the right-hand side, to go over there and defend it. However, my friend Odeth, though, had other plans. He sends his Screamer over directly onto that ejector marker, and what he does to try to use is he tries an attack called Burn It All Down, which is a game mechanic that's actually unique to the Empty Cabal philosophy. Pretty much what the idea is that when a demon is within 1 inch of an objective or a piece of terrain, you roll a combat attack, and if at least 2 of those are 6s, then you manage to destroy that objective marker. He was trying to destroy that objective marker because when that ends up happening is that it only leaves 3 objective markers left on the table, which means then he could actually, try to secure the other ones. And actually, if he wanted to, he's actually thinking about actually just destroying all the objective markers that he comes across, so that way nobody can win the scenario and all it is just chaos and death everywhere, which very much fits my friend Odeth's gaming philosophy. He plays a Warriors of Chaos, and that's pretty much how he rolls in the most part. Unfortunately for him, though, he failed in order to do that, so because of that, the ejector marker is still perfectly fine, and then Big Puka then charges Abdiel, his armor demon, who then charges directly into the back of the Screamer and manages to put 4 wounds on him as well. Meanwhile, Shade then sends in one of her Slaughter Fiends to charge directly into Cobalt the Mephet and kills that guy with a charging attack, so that objective marker now is up for grabs. And then Odeth activates Ackled Hellbrass, who does a charging attack directly into Treekin, which is the Slaughter Fiend for the Verdant Tribunal. Managed to put that guy up to 7 wounds, so that part was pretty intense. Big Puka then activates his 3rd Slaughter Fiend as a charging attack directly into Skrokali, the leader of All Is Dust. Managed to put 6 wounds onto him. And once again, my sister Shade then does a running skirmish attack once again. She runs a running skirmish attack against the 2nd Tentacle Beast that's from the warband for the Verdant Tribunal. Managed to kill that guy right off the bat and also move back a couple inches as well at the same time using those running skirmish combat rules. Odeth then sends one of his Tentacle Beasts to charge directly into Treekin, the Slaughter Fiend, and managed to finish that guy off in a charging attack. And then Smells Like Febreze goes next. She activates her leader Draco, does a charging attack directly into Asmodeus with that Thunder Hammer. And as you can see in this photo, managed to put 9 wounds in just 1 attack directly onto him. This guy only has 11 life on him, so he's only got 2 more wounds left before he dies. And once again, only Smells Like Febreze's leader could pull something like this off. She is absolutely deadly. Warrior Cash, she's got the Thunder Hammer as well. She's a beast in close combat, and this photo just kind of illustrates to show how deadly she really is. So, fearing the worst, Odeth then, my friend Big Puka then activates Abaddon, his leader demon, does a charge attack directly into the Screamer, manages to kill that demon and secure that ejector marker. And the reason why he was kind of afraid, because he realized that my friend Odeth's plan is to destroy the ejector markers on the battlefield so that nobody wins the battle report, and all that ends up happening is that death and chaos just kind of rules everywhere. Which, like I said, very much fits narratively with the Empty and what they accomplish in their battle reports. And Shade sends in her other Slaughter Fiend, who goes directly into Skull Taker, the Lord of the Pit, and manages to finish that guy off as well. And just like that, my friend Big Puka has lost his Devout Demon. And for his very last activation, Big Puka then activates the Skull Smasher, does a charge attack directly into Innistrad, manages to put 6 wounds. No, sorry, not 6 wounds. 4 wounds directly into him as well, which is absolutely insane. And that pretty much makes it the activations for this one. So with that, that takes directly to the bottom of turn number 2, and this is what the end of the table looks like at the bottom of turn 2. As you can see, my sister Shade is pretty much losing most of her warband on the right-hand side, defending that right-hand token. She did manage to secure 2 souls, though, so she's doing pretty good there. Meanwhile, my friend Smells Like Febreze, she managed to secure 2 souls for herself as well. At the same time, also brought up the Justice score for the Executioner up a little bit with all the death going on. And also, same thing with Big Pook. As you can see, he's trying to secure his objective markers at the same time trying to assault against all his dust. Managed to secure 2 souls in the process of doing so. However, the warband that's actually doing the best right now is my friend O'Death with all his dust. He managed to secure 2 souls, so that's great. He also managed to almost try to destroy the objective mark in the bottom right hand corner. But he currently possesses 1 right now, and he's close to possessing the one in the upper right-hand corner, going after Smells Like Febreze as well. And his plans, like I said, is to destroy objective markers that no one can win this off. However, this is where the things get interesting. What ends up happening is that his Devout Demon, which is the Void Beast Innistrad, what ends up happening is that he has an interesting game mechanic called Oblivion. And basically what ends up happening is that for every point of Oblivion that he has, this guy can basically disappear and teleport anywhere he wants with his movement characteristic plus his current Oblivion score. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, wait a minute, Commander Cheapskate. He's only killed 2 demons, which means he can only go travel 10 inches. I mean, that's not that impressive, so what's the big deal? Well, here's what it is. According to the way that the rules are written for Oblivion, from our gaming group's understanding, it's not just demons that the Empty managed to kill, it's anybody who dies on the battlefield, because it kind of fits narratively with the Empty. All they believe is in death and destruction and an elimination of hell. So for every single demon that has died on this battlefield, which is a total of 8 demons that have died, that means that Innistrad has a total of 8 Oblivion, which means that when you take the score of 8 plus his movement of 8, that means this guy can teleport 16 inches anywhere on the battlefield, which makes him extremely deadly because he can teleport really quickly, and with the number of combat dice that he can actually roll, he can actually get double 6s and destroy objectives like it's nobody's business. And then we realize, oh crap, I mean, the Empty is actually quite deadly in huge melees like this because they basically feed off of the death and the destruction around them, which is actually kind of cool, all things considered. So I thought that part was kind of neat. We were all kind of like, oh my goodness, we realized that our friend O'Death, he's actually got a pretty good chance of winning this one, which is actually kind of crazy. So with the end of turn number 2, we go directly to the top of turn number 3, and my friends roll their activation dice to see which of them will be going first. So that takes us directly to the top of turn number 3, and these are the activation dice for each of the different demons, so you can kind of take a look at that if you want to and see exactly what they rolled for that one. So what ended up happening is the very first activation was O'Death. So like I said before, using that Oblivion score where his Innistrad could just teleport somewhere, bam, just like this. Innistrad teleports 16 inches all the way to the second objective marker in the upper left-hand corner where Spite, the Stormbreaker, was waiting. Does a charging attack directly into that Mephet and just kills that Mephet right off the bat. And just like that now, O'Death, as well as the Empty of all his dust, controls 2 objective markers. Smells Like Febreze then goes next. She activates her leader Dryka, who then of course just thunder stomps Asmodeus and kills him with that thunder hammer. So he's dead now, and Shade is now without a leader or her Devout Demon. But to make matters worse, as you can see in this one, Shabriri actually does a charging attack directly into Skorkalikos and manages to finish that character off as well. So just like that, Skorkalikos is now dead, and my friend O'Death does not have a leader. But as you can see here, though, you can see his Oblivion score right there. He now has up to 14 Oblivion now with this death, which means that he can teleport, what is it, 22? I think, yeah, 22 inches what he can teleport now. So O'Death's Void Demon Innistrad, he's actually quite a fast mover and quite deadly, all things considered. So for O'Death's next activation, he activates Accold Hellbrass, who moves up to the upper right-hand corner to protect that objective marker, so that way it can help fight off the Lords of Hell. So with that, we go directly to my friend Smells Like Febreze. She takes a look at the table, realizes she's losing a lot of her demons, and she doesn't want to really lose more than she already has, so she decides to abdicate and retreat as well. So just like that, the Verdant Tribunal is now out of the scenario. And my sister Shade does exactly the same thing with the Earthbound philosophy. The only demons she has left are these 4 demons in this photo, and she doesn't take any more losses than she already has as well. So because of that, she decides to retreat, leaving the Lords of Hell as well as the Empty all alone on the battlefield. So as you can see in this photo, what ends up happening is that my friend Big Puka then activates his 2 demons, Abdiel, his armored demon, who then moves up to secure his objective marker, and Abaddon does exactly the same thing, moving up forward to secure the bottom left-hand objective marker as well. So right now, the Lords of Hell as well as the Empty are tied, having 2 objective markers apiece. So for the rest of the activations, as you can see in this photo, the Slaughter Fiends from the Lords of Hell, they move up as quick as they can to start putting their assault on the ejector mark in the upper right-hand corner. Skull Smasher, the Tentacle Beast, does a charging attack directly into Odeth's Tentacle Beast that's currently occupying their ejector marker. I think he managed to put 3 wounds on that Tentacle Beast, or it could have been just 1. Oh, sorry, it's 1 wound. That's the only thing he was able to do. Meanwhile, Odeth then activates his rest of his Tentacle Beasts as well as his to go to the ejector marker where the Void Demon's located at, so that way they can secure that ejector marker as well. And with that, that takes directly to the end of turn number 3. So here's an overhead shot of the entirety of the battlefield. As you can see, the Earthbound as well the judges decide to heli on and to leave the battlefield because they're taking too much damage. At the same time, as you can see, the Oblivion score for the empty as well as 3 souls looking pretty good right now for Odeth. The Lords of Hell right now have 3 points, 3 souls as well. And if you're wondering what that 1 die is represent there, that yellow die, that represents the 1 soul that they use for the Righteousness game mechanic. But since the Lord of the Pit is dead, it's not really going to come into factor on this one. So at turn number 3 over with, we go directly to the top of turn number 4. My 2 friends roll their activation dice to see which of them will be going first. Alright, so it takes directly to the top of turn number 4, and these are the the activation dice for both the empty as well as for the Lords of Hell. So if you're curious to see what they have, you can pause and take a look at that. So for Odeth's very first activation, you activate Innistrad, his Void Demon, who then of course uses his teleportation ability to pop up right behind Abdiel, the Armor Beast. Managed to put 7 wounds on that guy right off the bat, so that part's intense. Big Puka then activates Abdiel, then once again as a counterattack against Innistrad, brings his grand total to 9 wounds onto the Void Demon. And even though that guy is taking damage though, he does have this special ability, One with Nothing, which basically means he dies, but he comes back with 5 wounds. So even if they do kill him, Innistrad is not dead, he'll come back again, so that's actually kind of terrifying. Meanwhile, on the top right-hand ejective marker, Ackled Hellbrass, as well as the Tentacle Beast on that ejector marker, I believe they both get activated during this turn. They both manage to kill Skull Smasher, and also kind of gives them some breathing space. Meanwhile, over here on the right-hand side, Shabriri, the Spine Demon, he moves up as quick as he can as well. Same thing with the Slaughter Fiends, moving into what looks like the swarm around the defenses in the upper right-hand corner of the battlefield. Meanwhile, going back to the other side of the battlefield, Odeth then sends up one of his Tentacle Beasts to go back up to defend the upper right-hand corner objective, and sends his other Tentacle Beast to the right-hand side in order to protect that one as well. And that pretty much ends the turn for this one. So that takes directly to the end of turn number 4, and this is exactly what the battlefield looks like. As you can see, the Lords of Hell are desperately trying to fight on the upper right-hand corner in order to secure that ejector marker against my friend Odeth as well. As you can see there on the bottom right-hand side too, as you can see there, what ends up happening is that the Void Demon is actually getting ready to attack Abdiel and actually kind of finish him off as well. So it's pretty much like looking like that my friend Odeth is going to manage to win this one as well. And that's what ends up happening. My friends roll their activation dice, and then the first thing that ends up happening is that the first 3 sets of activations are actually going to my friend Odeth, which means that what he's planning on doing was sending his Void Demon to kill Abdiel and just take that ejector marker, which means they secure all 3 of their objectives. And then at the same time, though, of course, his plan was then to have his 2 Tentacle Beasts then do activations one after the other one in order to attack the ejector markers and to destroy them as well. And so just like that, my friend Puka realized that he does not have enough time in order to stop him from doing that because of the very last turn of the game. So because of that, he decides to cut his losses and to surrender. And just like that, that takes directly to the end of the game, with the Empty managing to securing their very first win for the campaign as well, and showing how powerful they can actually be, especially when you do multiplayer scenarios with those guys. So that part was absolutely insane as well. My friend Big Puka really did the math on it, realized there's no way he's going to pull it off just because Odeth had so many activations before his guys even activated, and eventually he decided to secede and just kind of end early before, taking more losses. So that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we'll go directly to the post game because this battle report is now officially over. So starting off with the Verdant Tribunal of the Judges. So in this one, actually, they lost 4 fighters in this one with soul loss. We have Spite the Stormbreaker. She got a weakened ability, losing 1 to her movement, and same thing with Ash the Tentacle Beast. She also suffered a weakened ability and lose 1 point to her movement as well. Both Willow and Treekin, however, had no effect, so they're perfectly fine. Now from the rewards. They were able to get 18 souls off of the battlefield. However, though, they did not be able to roll up on the rewards table. They rolled no effects at that time. And for their titles, 2 members of the warband actually earned titles. Dryka earned the Regent Slayer ability, which means that she slayed 2 leaders throughout the campaign so far, so because of that she gets +1 combat points against leaders. And then Durthu also earned the title The End of Faith, which basically means he gets bonuses to his combat attacks against devout demons because he's killed over 2 devout demons over the course of her campaign. So Dryka the Regent Slayer and Durthu the End of Faith. Those just sound like epic names, I'm just saying. That sounds awesome. God, I love this game so much. I love the title system. It's just so cool. It's like unlocking achievements in video games. It's pretty awesome. Now, for the advancements, of course, Dirthu also leveled up as well, earning extra evolution, which means now whenever he rolls 3 6s in his attacks, he actually does double damage, so he's extremely deadly that way as well. Now, for recruitment expeditions, my friend Smells Like Febreze decided to recruit a spine demon named Kurnoth, who added to her warband, and currently leaves her record now at 1 win as well as 2 losses. So moving on to Shade with her warband, the Shrieking Masquerade of the Earthbound. So for her soul loss, Enkari as well as Belial, one of her Mephits, they both rolled up no effects, so they're perfectly fine. Belial, the other Mephit, rolled actually Soul Warp, but the Soul Warp actually had no effect whatsoever, so he made a full recovery, no problem. However, for Asmodeus, though, her leader, he got a twist result, which he decided to do is take 1 point off her movement, but increase his combat score by +1 as well. Now for rewards, she managed to secure 12 souls off the battlefield, so that was great, but when she rolled on the rewards table though, she rolled nothing, so that part was pretty bad. She earned no titles, nobody advanced her warband at this time, however she did recruit a spine demon named Bestigor, and she now added that guy directly into her warband as well. Her current record now is at 1 win as well as 2 losses. So now we go to the Lords of Hell. My buddy Big Puka, this is the Stygian Legion. For his soul losses, Skulltaker, his devout demon, his Lord of the Pit, ended with no effect, so he's perfectly fine. Sanguine, one of his Slaughter Fiends, rolled Chaos Power. Well, once again, no effect happened there, so he's perfectly fine. Now for Cobalt as Mephit, he did get a twisted result, so he lost 1 point in his movement, but gained +1 to his combat, so now he's combat 4 for Mephit. And as for Skull Smasher, he actually rolled Essence Gain for his injury, so because of that, he got Essence of Luck, which means that once per battle, he may replace any one of his dice in a combat roll with a 6, so it makes him a little bit deadlier as well. Now for his rewards, he managed to secure 18 souls off the battlefield, and when he rolled on the rewards table, he actually got 3 essences. The first one was Essence of the Skirmisher, which gives him a +3 movement for running skirmish attacks. He put that on Abdiel, his armored demon, because that guy is super slow. He also got the Essence of Life, which means that once per battle, this demon can heal D3 health, and he put that on Abaddon, his leader. And then finally, he got Essence of Luck, which means once per battle, he may place 1 dice with a combat score for a 6, and he put that on Skulltaker, his Lord of the Pit as well. Now for his titles, he did not receive any titles at this time, nor advances at this time either. However, he did spend 10 souls though in order to fund a normal expedition, so for his next battle report, he will get to roll up, to roll a d6. If he rolls a 4 or higher, he managed to roll on the rewards table twice, so that's pretty good for him. His current record now is at 2 wins as well as 1 loss. And then finally we have All Is Dust, the Empty Cabal, the winners of this scenario. For the soul loss, 3 members of the warband were slain. Skorkalikos rolled a no effect, so the leader is perfectly fine. Screamer, however, rolled no effect as well, so he's perfectly fine as well. But Spiderflux, though, his tentacle beast, he got a twisted result. He lost 1 point to his movement, got +1 to his combat score, however. Now for his awards, he managed to secure 24 souls, and at the same time when they freed the demon, he rolled a d6, and he actually got a warrior demon instead. So because of that Spiderflux, that's why he got slain, because the warrior demon broke loose and killed him. And at the same time though, even though they did kill the warrior demon for Gauntfield of Carrion Crows, though, they get 2 essence rolls on the reward tables. Now they got Essence of the Ram, which basically, and he got that twice actually. Essence of the Ram is that whenever you do a charging attack, any 6s deal double damage. He got that twice on the Essence table for my friend Odeth. So he gave that Essence of the Ram to Skorkalikos as well as Innistrad, his Void Demon. And at the same time, when he rolled up on the rewards table, actually got 2 rolls on the relic table. So he got the Cloak of Flight, which means that this demon has all of his movement counts as flying. So he gave that to Skorkalikos, his leader. And at the same time, he also rolled a Reliquary, which means that once per battle, he gets +1 movement or +1 in combat for the duration of the activation. And he decided to give that relic to Ackwold Hellbrass. And he also managed to secure 24 souls. I forgot to mention that too. Now for his titles, he actually earned a title for his leader, Skorkalikos the Maladroit. And the reason why is because he died multiple times in the scenarios in our campaign so far. So because of that, he got the Maladroit title, which means that whenever he rolls on a soul loss table, he actually rolls twice on that table and he chooses which result he wants, which is pretty good considering a leader, for a leader anyways. For advancements, Innistrad actually leveled up with his greater evolution now, which means that he now never suffers any negative terrain effects whatsoever on the battlefield as well. At the same time, for recruitment as well as expeditions, he decided to pull his soul points and to hire a new Slaughter Fiend named Kaifus, and Kaifus is now added to his warband. His new record now is at 1 win as well as 2 losses. So there you have it, guys. That's the battle report for battle report number 7 of our Reign in Hell campaign. As always, please feel free to like, comment, and or subscribe. You guys' input is invaluable to us as always. Also check us out on Facebook, Instagram, as well as blogger.com for all the latest, greatest hobby news related to our channel. That's good for this one, you guys. We'll catch you guys next one. Peace out and stay classy.